Hello my loves, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a bit more of a serious video for you. The other day I found this journal that is from about 5 years ago, and I posted on my Instagram sharing that I completely forgot I kept this journal during this time in my life, and some of my followers there wanted to see some entries. And once I started reading it, I realized that it was from a very dark period of my life, a time where I was going through suicidal thoughts, and they were asking for me to share an entry, and I actually found my suicide note in it, and I've never read it since that happened. I did attempt at taking my own life. I did overdose on a mixture of drugs, and someone found me miraculously and I lived. So I've never shared this story with my following or even my friends, actually. It's been very personal. The time in my life I was in deep solitude, so I didn't really have anyone to talk to about it. But here I am sharing it with the world because I think it's a very important time to speak openly about suicide and suicidal thoughts and people struggling internally, especially with mental health issues and trauma, because we are going through a lot collectively right now. The suicide rates, depression rates, overdose rates, especially where I'm from in Canada, have been going up a lot the last few years, and especially with COVID. That's my intention with sharing this now. And I'm going to share my note. There is a reason for it, and I just want to say, if you have come on this video and clicked on it, please stay till the end of the video. I'm just going to share a little bit about my experience, and then I just have a message for you, and I'm also going to share what steps I took to get out of that state and to heal from after that attempt, as well as the feelings I was having inside. So this is definitely the most personal thing I've ever shared. It was I don't have my journal with me, so I'm just reading it off of my phone. I took a picture. So just to let you know, firstly, basically what got me to this state was a number of things over the years. I had a lot of suicidal thoughts when I was a teenager, like early teens, and then I became an alcoholic. I drank a lot, like every day through high school, to deal with that pain. This point in my life, I had pushed it away a lot, and I was very, very social, and then I just went into complete solitude. And it brought up a lot of demons. And then I was also experimenting deeply with psychedelics at the time. And this particular day, I had seen someone die at a festival in front of me while I was on a psychedelic trip, and it brought me into a very dark place. Now, I don't blame what I did on psychedelics, but it definitely did heighten the demons, if you want to call it that, and the thoughts that I was already having inside. Okay. So some of it doesn't make complete sense, and I repeat myself a bit because I was not completely in my right mind. I was coming off of psychedelics when I wrote this. What if it wasn't a cry for help? Anything. What if I knew I had the world out in front of me and still decided this? What if you were my last try? But truly, my life never for a moment has been what it's expected to be. I've always been hurt. I've always offered my love and support, and I've always been betrayed in return. I know it's my lessons, but at what point does it become too much? At what point does it become too much? I tried, I fought, I persevered, I healed, I woke up with a smile, and I tried again and again and again. Man, without my parents, I probably wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have existed past the age of 12. Life has been too fucking hard, and I've really fucking tried. I really, really have. And I've tried sharing what I've learned. I know if I had a community behind me, it would be different, but it just never came to me. Since day one, it's always been me, and I've only been seen for my body. I'm so fucking sick of it. I love my parents so much. They're everything. They're angels. They're the only thing that gave me hope through this walk. If you're reading this, I love you too. It'll get better. I know it will. Don't let anyone on this planet question that, especially not me or because of this. I just never had anyone. Really, I never did, and I'm okay with that. My path was meant to be different. I've always been the quiet one in the corner. I couldn't ever figure out how to make anything last in this life. Life has been ecstatic. There's been so many incredible parts and moments I want to hold on to for eternity. I just couldn't find another human to even experience any of that with. I feel I've always been the one left behind. I'm too sensitive for this world. I feel everything. I have eternal heartbreak, and maybe that's why I keep attracting more of it. I was born into this world heartbroken, and I leave it the same. Since day one, it's only been me. But somehow my energy got through to others and even helped some. And how beautiful and precious that is. My love never stops, I promise. So I share that because there is a theme in that note. And even though I was obviously very emotional when I wrote it, just need to like breathe through that a sec. Even though, you know, I was in a certain state when I wrote it, there's truth behind it. That I felt alone, I felt disconnected from community. Of course, that's a theme in the collective right now. There's a study that I read once, like years ago, of mice that have similar behavior to humans. They put a group of mice in a cage, and they put a bottle of water and a bottle of alcohol. And when there's other mice, they only have the water, but when you isolate the mouse, it will go to the alcohol. So the point of that is we're supposed to be in community. We're supposed to have a support system. We're originally supposed to be in tribes and, you know, have people to talk through. It's not a bad thing if you have suicidal thoughts. Nothing is bad. None of your thoughts, no matter how dark they are, no matter how twisted, no matter what kind of thoughts you have, there's nothing wrong with them. You are just meant to be able to express this and work through them with a non-judgmental community, with a support system. I didn't have that. I had so much shame from fantasies and thoughts that I had, and I was a yoga teacher, so I'm like, I'm not, you know, pure. I have all these demons inside of me, and it was eating at me. And then I had trauma from my past. I was in, you know, I'm not going to get into my story because we all have a story, but I was just heartbroken and had, you know, abuse again and again. And that abuse just, I didn't ever talk to anyone about it. So I was doing this healing on my own, but I didn't have the community support. And I just want to emphasize how fucking important it is to have people to talk to. And you are never, ever alone. Like, I wasn't alone. I could have picked up the phone. I was just like in this stubborn state where nobody cares. And that's because people told me throughout my life, Krystal, no one cares about you. People told me to kill myself. Like, I was told in high school by girls to kill myself all the time. And that stuff sticks with you. I was told by a partner that I love, why don't you just kill yourself? You know, like, that was shortly before I did that too. So I know it gets hard. I know people can be cruel, and remembering always that hurt people, but also remembering that your entire life can change in 6 months. Your whole life. You can meet a person that will change your whole life. You can have an opportunity that will change your life. You can create that opportunity for yourself. And even if it feels like I'm so stuck in this state and life is too hard and I can't go on, like, I know that feeling. I've been there more than once. But you just take it day by day, moment by moment. No expectations on yourself. Just let yourself be as you are, but know that you can end this life. You definitely can, but you don't have to permanently. You can rebirth yourself. You can start over. That is not the option. You are meant to be here. Like, I believe it with every single cell in my body that you are meant to be here, and I'm meant to be here. So I took a lethal amount of drugs on my own. I wrote that note in my car. I was planning to go out into the bush, and I was in Australia living out of the back of my car, going to festivals, a lot of, you know, trying to help myself. But I was just isolated, and it was starting to everything was starting to build up too much, and it was too much for me. I had just had my heart broken, very betrayed by someone I cared about, and it just, you know, it became too much for me. So after I saw this boy die, I was just in a very dark place, and I got all these different kinds of drugs and alcohol, and I was driving out into the bush where I was going to do it under these trees that I really love, and I literally couldn't make it into the forest. I could not live for another moment. I was just done. So I pulled over in a neighborhood, and it's this neighborhood on this beautiful lake. I kind of know the area, so I knew there was lakes, and I could sneak around through this trail, and it's kind of in someone's yard where their dock is, but a bunch of trees. And this was at sunset. I took everything, and I remember as everything was hitting me and I was going out of consciousness, I was watching the sunset over the lake, and like I just remember that's gonna be my last sunset I'll ever see. And I said goodbye to this world. Somehow I ended up in the backseat of my car and overdosed there, and apparently the next morning I was parked, which I didn't realize, just right a block away from an elementary school, and this family, his mom was walking her kids, and the boy said, "Oh, I think someone's in there." And it was a very, very hot day in Australia, and my whole car was, because I was breathing, it was like fogged up, and they all looked in the car and they could see like my leg kind of coming over. And then when the lady came back at some point, she called 911 to see, like, thinking that in this area there's a lot of little festivals, they call them doofs. She figured that someone got, you know, messed up, couldn't drive, and pulled over, so, which is common in that area. So that was my angel, because I don't think I would be here if that little boy didn't point that out, or if that mother, you know, she didn't call 911. If I had made it out into the bush, who knows? So when I woke up in the hospital, the very, very first thing, before I even opened my eyes, before I even wondered what happened, anything, was just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go, and I thought I did. Because when we're acting from this state, we're in a state of delusion. We're in a state of emotions and complete illusion. It's not real. These thoughts that you have, suicidal thoughts, are not natural. They've been borrowed from our environments, from our families, from our peers, from schoolmates, from, you know, people that we work with, whoever, trauma that happened to us as children. We didn't ever come into this world wanting to leave it. Like, this life sucks. We came in with big bright eyes, like, this world it's limitless potential, it's amazing, and little girls want to be queens and boys want to be astronauts, and the options are limitless, and we love it. And then somehow over time we've been broken down, right, by collective situations, by people, by circumstances that we feel victim to. But honestly, we're never victim, because we can always control our inner state. And you're worth that. You're worth the work to make things better. Like, I fucking swear to you, look in my eyes, you are worth it. You are meant to be here. I love you. You are loved. And whatever you're feeling, whatever you're going through is not natural. Your natural state is love and bliss, and you can absolutely get back to it. You know, there's many practices to take. I have, if you go to KrystalAranyani.com/selflove21, 21 days of self-love, simple practices, start there and be gentle with yourself. And if you do these practices and connect back to spirit, even a short meditation, yoga, just making yourself do something a little bit each day. If you're still feeling it, then reach out to a professional. That is why they're there. You have support. People like me are passionate about helping people, because we want to remind you that you are meant to be here. There's not one person on this planet that is less or more worthy than you being here. Not one. Like, feel that inside yourself. I'm not meant to be here more than you are. No one is. We're all equal. We're all supposed to be here, and your existence is a miracle. So when I got out of the hospital, I didn't ever talk to anyone. I wish I did, but basically I said I have to take a break from living in my car and get an Airbnb. And I wasn't happy. I wasn't like, yes, I'm here, all right, everything's good again. Like, no, I was still on the same vibration, still like, why am I here? Why did the universe or God or whatever it is bring me here, like back to this world? I thought I was done. And, you know, I just feel worthless. I felt so worthless. And I got this Airbnb and I just sat there. I'm like, how am I gonna make it through this? And I'm in a country I don't know anyone. I was severely abused and traumatized by the person that I did know there, so I just didn't even want to connect with anyone there. And I was, you know, I had a visa for the next year. So I basically felt like a fetus. Like, I was in this dark, like, cocoon. That's the only way I can describe it. I was wrapped in a ball, like, in this darkness, like, literally a fetus. And what I saw from that was, okay, I'm like an unborn fucking life right now. That's how I feel. I've been reborn, basically, and I'm in this darkness. And I can see it as like, this sucks, or I can see it as an opportunity to literally rebirth my life. So what do I want to create from here? My first thing, I remember I jotted down on a piece of paper and I stuck it to my wall, how to be happy, summer 2015 or 16, whatever year it was. That's all about, how to be happy. And number one, I remember, like, this is what I mean. Just take it day by day, simple steps. You don't have to put all this pressure on yourself. These thoughts might come up for a while. Just being gentle and patient with yourself and loving. And I put, number one, I'm going to make my surroundings beautiful. Because I wanted to wake up each day and see something beautiful. Rather than, at the time, I used to wake up and be like, why am I here? Like, I'd have a negative, you know, fuck, I'm still here. What am I doing? Every morning. And that killed me. So the first thing was flowers, fresh flowers and plants and pretty decor that made me happy and quotes that made me happy by my bed. So first thing in the morning, I would wake up and see things that made me happy, even a little bit. And then, like, number two was connecting to spirit each day a little bit, like, you know, just the basic things. And I would just read over this every day. And whenever I was like, I can't do this, I would just look and be like, okay, yes, I can. Just these little steps, like 5 things. That's the keys to happiness. Do that each day consistently, and eventually I'll be able to get over this, right? Cutting out toxic people was one of them, because that was my thing. I have such a big heart. I just let these people that were really hurting me in my life, that was cold turkey. And every time I wanted to write them, every time I wanted to, you know, do whatever, like contact them, thinking about them too much, I just look at that list again and be like, cold turkey, change my vibration, rewrite my story, like read something positive, read the book that I'm reading, like change my subconscious into something on a different vibration. We always have the choice to repattern our brains, our thoughts, and that repatterns our life. That creates a new life for us. We are never ever stuck in one thought pattern. Again, these are borrowed thoughts. They're not yours. Therefore, you can change them into what you would like. I absolutely promise. So I don't want to go on to make this video too long, because I easily could and just keep telling you how fucking amazing you are and how you're meant to be here. But I'm just gonna make it shorter so that people actually watch through the whole thing. And I do want to say, like, if you need to reach out, if it's just not working for you, I wish I could say I could get back to every single message, because if I could, I absolutely would, and tell you how fucking special you are, and that you can make it through anything, and then that you are stronger than you know. You know, I would love to tell you that. Sometimes I miss messages, so I don't want to say that. But if you're a sister, I have a community on Facebook called The Goddess Sisterhood with Krystal Aranyani. Please join us. We're a supportive group of women. Anything you're going through, we will support you and love you up. And if you're a man, if you're anything else, any kind of other beautiful human who is meant to be here, look for support groups, look for Facebook groups. Like, make yourself, even if it's just online. Go to a yoga class if it's open right now. There's always options. Just push yourself to do it. Find that connection, reconnect with people. Like, I was just watching, actually the other day I was watching this guy, this man who tried to commit suicide by jumping off of the Golden Gate Bridge, and he survived. When he was drowning, the only thought that he was having was, no one's gonna know I didn't want to do this. No one's gonna know my family's gonna think that I wanted to do this. They're not gonna know I didn't. As soon as he jumped, he realized I don't want to do this. Can you imagine how many people realize that? Like for me, thank you for bringing me back. I didn't want to do that. Like my family wouldn't know. Same thoughts. Like I completely resonated with that. That's what I went through. Again, we are not in the right state when we're having these, and it's just not our natural state. Your natural state, like you are God, you are divine, whatever you want to call it, you are. You're worthy, you're enough. Like I can't say it enough. I can't say that enough. But really, you deeply are, and you're meant to be here for a purpose. If that didn't happen to me, I wouldn't be here doing what I do. I came online just saying, if I can help one life on this planet, it's all worth it to me. Being vulnerable and sharing my story. And I've had now hundreds of people write me and say, I had suicidal thoughts, hearing your story helped. And like, it doesn't mean that you have to do what I'm doing, but just by you living your life, you are helping others, you inspire others. I promise you that. Like, this is what we're here, we're in this together, we're meant to be here, we're touching each other's souls, and you are touching people every day you probably don't even realize. So the world needs you, we need you, I love you. Find a support group, sit with what I'm saying, and yeah, there's always another day, there's always another opportunity to change, and you don't need to do everything at once. Just take it day by day. I love you so much. Again, I will keep saying that, and thank you for watching this video.